Hi everyone, I'm Miss Callie from the King Township Public Library, and this week for our final week of the summer reading club programming, we are going to be learning how to make our own notebooks. There's lots of different ways you can do it, all with supplies that you should have at home, and if you don't, try a different version and see if you have those supplies. But let's get started. Okay, so let's start making our notebooks. So this first one is kind of, it's been referred to as a Zine, Pamphlet, origami. It's got a couple of different names really, but it's not actually origami because you do need some scissors for it, which you don't normally need for origami. So once you kind of have the knack for this one, it's really easy to do and you can do it all the time. You can make little notebooks for school or for a diary or sketchbook, whatever you want. So the first thing you're gonna need is a sheet of paper. The bigger your paper is to start, the bigger your book will be. So just remember that you don't want to start with anything too small. You can use any color you like. I'm using cardstock for this. You can use construction paper, white paper, anything. Scissors, and then you're gonna want some markers or whatnot to decorate. So the first thing is you're gonna want to start with the paper kind of facing you tall ways. Then you're gonna fold it in half this way. Some people refer to this as a hot dog fold. So that's what we're gonna start off with. And you wanna try to keep your folds as straight as possible. So you got it tall and skinny, we're gonna unfold. We're gonna fold it this way, or a hamburger fold. Okay, so now we are going to fold the bottom up to the middle. Kind of a mini hamburger. We're gonna fold the top down to the middle. Remember, you're gonna want to try to keep this as straight as possible to make your book that much straighter. So then you can unfold it and you can kind of see that there's 2, 4, 6, 8 evenly sized sections. So now we're gonna kind of want to reverse the fold here. So keeping it tall ways, this fold used to go this way. We're gonna fold it up like a mountain in the center. And then we're going to cut down this middle fold, just down to where the paper is on the table. You don't want to cut into here. So there we go. If you want to, you could also tear it. You're just kind of risking it a little bit. So now it should kind of open up like this. And this is kind of where the magic comes in. Okay, so we've got it like this. We are going to pull it up like this. We've got kind of a plus sign. And then we are just going to fold the pages over. There you go, you've got your Zine. So then you would decorate it, and maybe blue on blue isn't the best idea. What would I call this? Maybe I'll just put a heart where it's all the things I love. And you can see that mine is a little crooked. I wasn't paying as much attention to the folds as I should have. So keep that in mind, straight folds. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna need some paper bags. You're gonna want 3 or 4. I'm just gonna do 3. You're going to want some glue, a ruler, a pencil, scissors. If you've got a hole punch, use it. Markers and other crayons, pencil crayons, whatever, to decorate. And then you're also going to want some colorful paper. If you've got scrapbook paper, construction paper, you can use old magazines, gift cards, gift wrap, anything you've got can really be used for this. You might want some ribbon or some washi tape, stickers, buttons, all kinds of different things that we can do to decorate this. And this one is a great one for like a memory book, a photo book, or even a poetry book. So the first thing we're gonna do is stack the paper bags. So right now I've got the opening at the top for all of them. You want to alternate that, so opening at the top, opening at the bottom, and then opening at the top. If you're doing another one, obviously opening at the bottom. So stack them up like this, and then we're going to fold them in half. Now we're going to take one of the bags. We're going to use our ruler to mark 3 spots where we want holes to be. So we kind of want them to be evenly spaced. There we go. And then you will hole punch that. If you don't have a hole punch, you can use scissors. Hole punch is just a little bit easier and you get a little bit of a cleaner line, but there's nothing wrong with using scissors or something to punch that hole. So now we're going to line it up with the next bag. And we will do the holes again. And I'm just going to keep the other one in there. It might make it a little bit harder to hole punch, but that way I know for sure all of my lines are, or all of my holes, sorry, are lining up. There we go. So there we have it. Now I will use my ribbon and I will tie them together. My ribbon is a little bit big for the holes, so it just means I'm going to have to work a little bit harder to get it in now. You can tie these however you want. I'm doing individual bows at each spot, or like kind of knots. You can keep the ribbon together and kind of lace it through if you want. The great thing about these books is you really can make them what you want them to be, right? Like there's no right or wrong way to make your own notebook. And the final one. There we go. So it's all tied together now. We've got our pages, just like that. And now you can use your colorful paper to decorate. So you've got this. I think I'm going to use construction paper. I just want to keep it pretty plain. I've got some nice pink construction paper here. So what you can do is you can measure the book to make your paper fit. So I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller just to ensure. I'd rather it be a little bit smaller than hang off personally, but it's totally up to you. You might even just want to put this on there and trace it. So it turns out that it's pretty well square. There we go. I'm gonna cut that out. So you can either glue this here and decorate it, or your book comes with pockets. So you can put it in the pockets. And you can even hole punch the top here, slide a piece of ribbon on it, do it that way. You might want to glue these down just so that way they're a little bit less annoying. It doesn't really flap up too much. And then you can decorate it however you want. You know, you can write on it, you can make notes, you can, like I said, use the pages, use it as a way to store things. You can add some washi tape, however you want to decorate it. It's really fun. You can, you don't have to cut the construction paper into squares. You can make little tags or ribbons, cute little bookmarks. You can even make flaps that have secret messages or something. It's all about what you want to do, and you can figure out what goes on each page. So for this one, I'm going to use index cards. If you don't have index cards, you can cut paper into index card sizing. I've got some elastics, some paper clips, a binder ring. I've also got my hole punch, and you can even use butterfly clips as well, like the kind of metal head where the two metal pieces fold out. That might be a good option as well. And then I've also got a pencil. So first thing you're gonna wanna do, I'm just gonna do a 2-card book to start. You wanna punch holes in the top. You wanna make sure they line up. I'm gonna do 2 holes across the top, and to make sure they line up, you know, hole punch them at the same time. If you're doing more than that, you might want to do a couple stacked behind, do it again. The thicker they are, the harder it's gonna be to poke it through. If you don't have a hole punch, you can use scissors. You just wanna be extra careful that those holes do line up. Or you could use something to kind of poke through. Okay, so the first way to do it is to, you know, you can use binder rings. You can clip that together. You can quickly look at them, being mindful that some of the content will be cut off at the top, or you can then unclip it and kind of shuffle through. It's an easy way to make sure that you can use the whole card. Or you can use some elastics and a paper clip. The first thing you want to do is find an elastic that's the right size, and then you're gonna thread the elastic from the back to the front. We're gonna start on the left-hand side here. This is where it's tricky, is then on the right, you're gonna use the other end and go from the back to the front. There we go, you got 2 loops here at the top, and then what you're going to do is thread the paper clip through the 2 loops. I used a nice big paper clip because I knew my elastics weren't the longest, so this will help kind of make up for that a bit. It's going to be a little bit trickier. This one, because they are tight. There we go. Kind of fiddle with it to get that paper clip to lie as flat as possible, just so you have that. And then you can kind of adjust, like I said, and play with it, get it going. It's not super twisted, and you've got your notebook. And again, you can use the whole page then. It's not really cutting anything off. If you were to use the butterfly clips where they kind of fold out, you would end up only being able to use about this much because you can't go past where they are. So another option is to take the elastic out. And instead you could use an old pen or something and kind of feed it through. This one I find is a little bit clunkier. I'm not as big of a fan of this one. But I mean, this is a great way to use up what's around the house. and similarly it would hold it together. So those are all different ways that you can turn index cards into a bit of a book. I think they're great for study notes and things like that. You can also turn them into notebooks for poetry, art, whatever you want. Okay, so this one is a modified pamphlet. So what you're going to want is a pencil, scissors, a ruler, and some paper. Ideally, you're going to want one that's a little bit thicker and or a different color for the cover. So I'm using pink cardstock for my cover and then white printer paper for the inside of my book. You're going to want a binder clip, and then you can use ribbon, string, thread, yarn, whatever you've got handy. You're going to want it to be 3 times the height of your book. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to start with my white paper, and I'm going to stack it together and fold it in half. So you're going to want to make sure your fold is as straight as possible, just that way you got a nice clean looking book. There we go. You want to make sure before you fold, of course, that all of your paper is stacked really nice and tight. You can measure this out. I'm going to eyeball it. We're going to cut little pieces of the corners off, the top and the bottom. If you had a ruler, you can make sure those are nice and even. And then in the middle, you're going to kind of create like a little triangle here. There we go. There we've got it. And now we're going to kind of set this aside and we're going to fold our cover in half. Making sure it's all nice and straight. And then you can even use your white paper to make sure that those holes line up, or you can eyeball it. Especially with the middle, you want that specifically to be a good match between the outer and the inner parts. So now we're going to put everything together. So inner paper and the cover. As you can see, our holes line up nicely. And then I'm going to use some yarn, this nice piece of red yarn. And we want the yarn or the string or ribbon or whatever we're using to be about 3 times the size of the book. My yarn is a little stretchy, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll just kind of cut it here. Put that to the side. Got it in the middle here. I've got my string. I'm going to poke it from the outside in. Go. And then again, you want to make sure there's just, a little bit of a tail, enough that you could tie it. So you just want to have enough the outside here that you could tie a knot when we're all done. And with this other stuff that's in the middle, you're going to go up along the spine, down the outside, and then up the inside. And then we're going to poke it back through. So now we've got 2 ends, and you can kind of shift this so they are equal or close to equal. You want that to kind of be right along that spine there. Kind of see that the yarn goes all the way through. And you'll tie it in a knot. As you can see, our book is now tied together. It won't fall apart. And you can either do this into a bow, or you can, if you've got ribbon, you might want to just cut the ends on like kind of an angle, do it that way, whatever you'd like. But there you go. This is a nice big booklet for you to use. Might be a cute card for someone. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found at least one notebook style that you like and that you'll make for yourself. I would love to see what you use yours for. If you'd like to share them, please email us or post to social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I hope you guys had fun. And don't forget, you can rewatch any of our summer programming videos this summer on our website, kinglibrary.ca/src, or on our YouTube. Hope you guys had a great summer.